Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
It is Steve, and so glad that you're with us here today. New Life Live. And we've got a great program because we've got great people here, and J.J. West is with us, who does the just really powerful, amazingly powerful Every Man's Battle intensive workshop. J.J., welcome. You doing all right today?
Thanks, Steve. I'm doing great. Good to be on with you.
And let's all pray for J.J. because someone said to him, meeting him, I thought you were taller. You know, that never goes well when you hear that. And then Marc Cameron, who is just perfectly tall, right height there. Marc, how are you?
Hey, Steve. Hey, Jay. That's funny because I usually get the opposite. Oh, I didn't realize you were this tall.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk to you guys, ask you about something. We want to be discerning. And given that there are people that aren't very, they are in the Christian community, but maybe their motives are wrong. We want to be discerning, maybe a little bit skeptical when we hear certain things. How does that differ from a critical, judgmental spirit that can just eat you alive? JJ, what do you think?
Well, I think oftentimes a critical, judgmental spirit reveals the things that I hate or am displeased with most about me. And so I use it then to lash out at others rather than turn the focus around and the camera around to what needs to change in me, to be asking God for the strength, one, to recognize he's forgiven me, but then two, the strength to change, to transform. And sometimes that might even mean I need to seek professional help and need to get with maybe a Christian counselor to say, hey, there's this thing or these things in my life that I really don't like. I end up kind of getting angry with others about it. Can you help me work through this so that I can let these things go?
Very good. Marc, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with you, JJ. I think underneath the critical spirit is shame. And it's usually people who have a really hard time admitting their own mistakes because it causes them shame. So they're very quick to point them out in others. And I know this because I used to be one of those folks. And it's hard, right? But the way that we get rid of the power of shame over us is by learning to admit our mistakes, right? And acknowledge where we're flawed. And once we can acknowledge where we're flawed, then that's when the healing can begin. And so, but to answer your question here, Steve, between the difference between discernment and criticism, I think when we're discerning, we are actually submitting to an authority higher than us or outside of us, right? And as Christians, it would be submitting to God and God's word versus, someone who's critical. They usually have a lot of what they think should happen, but it's based on what they think and not really a submission to something else.
Yeah, very good. Well, if you have a critical spirit, or you just spend a lot of time judging other people, you're negative, either you've been born into the wrong family, or you might have a problem that we could help you with. And we're doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop, and I love this workshop because I've seen people really respond to it. And one of the things that I always wonder about is this question of, do I need to go to counseling? Well, yes, you do. If you've never been, there are things that you would just love to know. And a great counselor can help you know those things. But especially if you see that you're really not connecting with people because, there's always something wrong with them. Well, maybe that's not really true. Maybe it's something wrong with you, and you're missing the joy of a lot of good connection in relationship. Counselor can help you with that, and Emotional Freedom, the workshop, can help you with that. We'll be back. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't benefit from emotional freedom. We're all bound or stuck or struggling in some area. What are we going to do there, Chris?
Just really help people get clarity around the places where they're stuck in their life. They sort of circle the same mountain of disappointment over and over and over again. You're going to be able to see that mountain clearly and get to a new place of what we call emotional freedom, which is simply I can feel in the world, build a relationship to it, and know what to do with my experiences.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, December 2nd. Steve Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Dr. Jackie McHarris will present information on trauma, depression, codependency, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or register online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, hoping you're having a great day, and it could be better if you join us for the Emotional Freedom Workshop. That's going to be December 3rd. Could be a great Christmas, better Christmas, because you gave yourself that gift. Find out about it at newlife.com, or you could call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I'm going to go to Elvira. She's calling us from Chicago. Elvira, you are on. Steve Arterburn here, J.J. West, Marc Cameron. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I have a question.
Okay.
I'm being stalked by a Christian leader, a radio personality, and I need to confront this, but nobody has given me a phone number. So I'm left to endure it.
Okay, let me ask you a question. A couple of questions.
Okay.
You're not referring to me. Okay, but here's the deal. How did this person come across you to know you, to want to stalk you?
He was my youth pastor when I was a kid.
Okay.
I don't know if he was but he attached himself to our family because of my father's success, and
Okay.
I'm being isolated. I insulted him one time, and he's not amenable to buying me out.
Okay.
So I hear.
All right. So one more question. What does it mean when you say he's stalking you? What does he do?
For instance, I'm at a washateria. I needed to use the restroom, and this has happened pattern after pattern, time after time after time. This is just one illustration of it. So, both of the bathrooms were locked, and the owner approached me and was apologetic and said he was clearly lying, so he was making excuses. So I think they locked the bathrooms in.
Okay, hold on just a second. So when you go to the laundromat, something that's happened a couple of times, he's locked. You think he's locked the bathroom door? Okay.
This is the first time.
Okay. What else does he do? What else does he do that would? I mean, do you see him stalking you? Is it obvious?
Yeah, I think I have tracking mechanisms on my car.
Okay, well, I'm just going to turn this over to, Marc, how about you, to help her with the feeling of being stalked by somebody that's from old youth group?
Well, I'm sorry this is happening to you, Elvira. I think what I would say to somebody who believes they're being stalked is really to get the police involved. And just have them look into it if you really feel like you're in danger. and you're not safe. I think the other thing that sounds like you probably could do is call the radio station and let them know of your concerns too. But I think also what I would do is I would also loop in some other folks who you trust and who love you, and just tell them about your experience and see if you can solicit their feedback on what they think could be happening too. Because it is scary when we think that somebody is following us or doing something to us, but we also just want to check it out too and make sure that our mind is also not playing tricks on us.
Yeah, and I like what you said, because if you are literally being stalked, the police do not want that to happen, and they're the ones to talk to. JJ, you have a thought here?
I'm just echoing exactly what Mark said. You got to get the police involved. And then also this idea of enlisting the help of others is so important. This is what Scripture tells us, that there's great wisdom in the counsel of many. I shouldn't try and figure everything out on my own. I shouldn't trust my own ability to perceive everything accurately. It's important to get the feedback of others who I know love me, care about me, and want good for me. Get them involved as well to say, hey, here's what I experienced. You tell me what you think, so that does it coincide with how I interpreted it.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so I'll send you Dr. Henry Cloud's book, Trust. Boy, that's a book I think you're really going to enjoy. And sorry you're having to go through this. Police and friends that care about you seem to be the answer. Let's go to Charles. Washington, D.C. is where he's calling from, WAVA, great station there. Hey, Charles, how are you, and how could we help you today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Just want to say I did this weekend did go to the Every Man's Battle workshop, and JJ is shorter than.
That's hilarious.
I'm so short, I can't help it.
Well, it shows that you were truly engaged. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
So, was it a good experience for you?
It was a beautiful experience. I met Jim, I met JJ, and some really great guys there that encouraged me, that I was able to connect with and grow with. So it was a really great time.
Good. So what's on your mind right now?
So a lot. So I actually talked to JJ about this. And so he would actually have, hopefully he remembers. But anyway, I'm having a crisis on multiple fronts, just to kind of, I guess, truncate it. I've been excommunicated from my church because of a situation with adultery. My wife, and I've been married 8 years, my wife was committed adultery in 2017. And so during that time, I actually was angry with her and angry with the Lord. So I committed adultery as well after that. So we went to counseling. And I thought everything was fine. It seemed that we were growing. But recently, 2020, in September, I found out that she actually committed adultery again. So I was like, okay, we were talking through it, trying to work through it. And then she hit me with a bombshell. I think JJ called it trickling. But she basically was letting me know that all the basically other times of infidelity in our marriage has been over the last 6 years of our marriage. And I think that kind of set me over. And so I was looking to, I didn't set out to commit adultery again, but I was looking for love, and I ended up committing adultery again. I don't know what to do because, my life is just in shambles right now. I don't know if I want to continue to be married with my wife. She has a voice that she wants to continue the marriage. But I don't know if I want to continue.
Let me just get this clear. When you found out about the first affair she had, then you had an affair. Then am I right that you had another affair after you found out about all the affairs that she had? Is that right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, big question first is, what are you doing so you don't ever have another affair? Do you have a plan? Do you have a program?
I do. So that's one of the reasons why I went to Every Man's Battle, because I wanted to identify what in me, led me to commit another adultery. And I do have that. I don't have my church community anymore. So I do have friends and pastors around me that have rallied around me, and so that way I can grow, to see what's going on with me, and also to grow a conviction to honor the Lord even when I'm not. The
good news for you is there are a lot of churches, and there are a lot of churches that heal, and they have recovery groups, and you need to be in one of those to really be involved. But what does your wife say about these multiple affairs? And does she say she's done, or kind of leaves it up in the air?
She says she's done. She's voiced, she's shown some contrition. I'm not sure how to always interpret it, because in the past it kind of the same thing in a sense. Now she's in counseling. She's been surrounded by people, but she says she doesn't want to do it anymore. She wants to grow. In my mind, she needs to be doing more than just going to counseling. She needs to be in a Sex Addicts Anonymous group or a Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous group, and she needs to be showing you that she's doing more than just talk to somebody for an hour once a week. And if I were you, I would be saying to her that if you want the marriage to go forward, you're going to need to do some things. One, you're going to need to get involved in a recovery group, and you need to go twice a week. And secondly, you need to do something, a retreat or something that really, a weekend that can help you with whatever it is that drove these things. And so if you're not willing to do that, then what I think you're saying is you're willing to stay married until you have another affair. That would be my big concern. That would drive me crazy. Where does she find these people to have affairs with? The guy actually was in our church. He was a brother of mine, supposed to be a really close brother of mine.
Well, how did she connect with this brother? How did they connect, being part of the church?
We all were in a mutual friend group.
Yeah.
And
so,
we all were just together.
So you need to tell her that every male contact that's on her phone needs to be erased, and that you need to see her phone for quite some time to make sure she's not in contact with some other man. Is she willing to not contact another man? But if I don't see things like that with the affairs she's had, then she's really just kind of holding you at bay. I think it's kind of a manipulation. JJ, your thoughts might be totally different. What are you thinking?
No, I'm in agreement. The formula for rebuilding trust is a changed character plus observable behaviors over time. You can't eliminate any of those portions in order to rebuild trust. So there has to be a change in character in her heart. I want to relate differently, not only to you, but to other men. I'm going to show you that by observable behaviors. I'm going to rebuild trust with you by, active truth telling. I'm going to go through my phone every day. Here are the people that I've contacted. Here are the ways that we interacted. Here are the conversations that we had. And I know that it's going to take time for you to start to believe that these observable behaviors are permanent and not temporary, just to win you back. So we have to have all of those elements in place. And yeah, I of course I do remember our conversation. We had a great conversation. And by the way, I think it's important for all the listeners to know that, he's like 6'4" or something. So his perspective on how tall I am is completely it's completely off. Yeah, disqualified completely. Yeah, but no, I mean, I think that's the key. Is it's fine for you to entertain the idea of staying in the relationship with her, but only on the basis of I'm seeing these things change and we're giving time to see if it's permanent.
Now, the other thing are these men that are in your church. I think most people are aware that my wife was unfaithful. Tell you what I did when we come back from this break, because they need to be held accountable too.
Absolutely.
And we'll hear from Marc. Well, it's a tough situation, and everybody has to do what needs to be done to ensure this is not ever going to happen again. Take a break. We'll come right back. If you need some help, 1-800-NEW-LIFE is the number to call.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are. Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and just pointed out, I might want to mention that I was married before. Anyway, I just said to the guy, if you ever call my wife, get in contact with her again, I will kill you. I just said, that's what was on my mind. I said, I'd rather be in prison for that than to know that that's ever going to happen again. So I was angry, but you know what? He ended up going to every man's battle. Now that is a twist, if you ask me. And I hope and pray that he's still doing well. So here's what I would say. I would just say, I think you got to see the stuff that both JJ and I have said. You got to see that in her, or it's not going to go well, most likely. CJ, do you have a thought on this before we go?
Are you talking to me, Steve?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Marc, I'm talking to you.
Just want to make sure.
I said CJ because there's a CJ on the board.
Okay.
But yeah, Marc, what do you think?
Yeah, so Charles, here's what I just kind of want to lovingly point out for you here. You said that you were angry the first time and then you cheated. And so there's a little bit of lack of ownership there, right? Because there's some justification behind like, I cheated because you did this to me. And I think as Steve and JJ are saying, right, working recovery, being in a recovery group, and, also going to therapy, I think recovery groups are good for accountability. Individual therapy is good to unpack the reasons of why you had the affair, right? And I think as you go and you figure out these things, right? Then you'll be able to learn to take ownership for the reasons behind it. And then, if you get to a stage where healing can happen with your wife, right, then you can do couples therapy and you can learn how to heal the relationship there. Because when you walk your own recovery, then you'll have a clearer mindset of what your wife needs to do to recover, because you'll know what you're doing in yourself. So I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so I'm going to send you a copy of Every Man, God's Man. I hope that's going to be another level of character building for you. Boy, that's a tough situation. Mm-hmm. And what do we do in those situations? We make sure that we are going on a path that never leads us to have an affair, because it's not just about you and what the damage it does, but that person you're in the affair with. What are you doing there? The damage there. All right, how about we go to Aaron, Wilmington, Delaware, listens on Sirius XM satellite radio channel 131 at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hey, Aaron, how are you today?
Very blessed, thank you.
Good. What's going on?
Well, my ex-wife and I were divorced 23 years ago.
Okay.
I remarried. She did not. My second wife died of colon cancer. And my ex-wife is making some ovations to try and put us back together. I'm not against the idea, although I've got some conditions I want to go through first. But my question is, in the eyes of God, are we still married?
Well, no, you got a divorce.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know legally.
And God, but Jesus refers to that thing that happens, divorce.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He says if a man divorces his wife, just because he doesn't want to be married anymore, he's committing adultery.
I understand that.
And then he gave 2 conditions under which divorce is okay: abandonment by a non-believer and adultery on the part of the other person. That doesn't mean you have to get a divorce if those happen. Mm-hmm. So, here's a question for you. When you guys were married, you had problems, you got a divorce. Is there anything different now with the two of you?
Well, spiritually, there's a lot of difference. I mean, I was a backslidden heathen at the time. I think we're a lot more mature than we were then. Mm-hmm. But my way of approaching this is, look, I'm not the same person I was 23 years ago. Oddly enough, we were divorced for 23 years as well. And I said, neither are you. I mean, if you want to hang out and be friends for a while just to make sure we're still compatible, I'm okay with that. If after a few weeks or months we decide that, we want to move forward with this, we'll start dating, and then after a few months of that, if we really feel like we got this together, then we'll see where it goes.
Well, okay. It sounds like you're very logical about it, mm-hmm. and that could be a good thing, or it might not be a good thing. If there's no romance, desire, really strong attraction to her, it could be more of like an arrangement. You just got to be sure that you love her and care about her. You don't want another mistake.
Agree. Mm-hmm. Of course, I agree completely. And I guess to be perfectly blunt and honest, I don't think I've ever stopped loving her. It's just that I was convinced that we weren't compatible, and I was being a selfish snot, and decided I was going to go make sure I was happy. So it was all me. And
yeah. Okay.
I'm looking at it. If we can put this back together, I'm going to take the rest of my life making it up to her.
Well, I would not be hanging out, wasting time, if I wasn't in a counseling relationship with her to see, like you said you were incompatible. Are you compatible now? I'd be wanting to find that out.
New Life Ministries saved my completely broken marriage.
This is Steve Arterburn. Do you feel like your marriage is broken? New Life can help. Our Intimacy in Marriage workshop examines the various types of intimacy, spiritual, emotional, and physical, as well as the challenges of experiencing true intimacy.
The next Intimacy in Marriage workshop is February 16th to the 18th in Orange County, California. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more or go to newlife.com. 1-800-639-5433.
Don't settle for a miserable marriage or even one that's just okay. It's possible to have that great marriage you always want.
3.5 years later, we're still going strong, and I would encourage really anybody who's struggling in their marriage to go to a New Life workshop. They are more effective than anything else we tried.
1-800-NEWLIFE.
I have given to New Life regularly because I have so many people that I am referring to New Life who so benefit from the ministry. I just can't imagine what would happen in my area if New Life wasn't available to us.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Prayer, 100 Days of Freedom from Depression, and 100 Days of Peace. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. I'm going to send Aaron How We Love. I think that could really open some eyes for both, and I hope that will be a good resource for you guys. But I really would. If you're messing around with remarrying, I would sure be in a counseling relationship, and as well as the dating thing. I've never had a date with Larry, but we've gone a lot of places together. He's in the studio. Larry, what do you have for us?
Steve, Emotional Freedom is coming up December the 2nd, one-day online workshop. You and Chris and Jackie Mack are going to do this online. People can get a lot done in this one day. And yeah. I got this, I think it's a really powerful testimony that if you're even thinking about it, this should get you to pick up the phone and call. This woman writes, I was so afraid to ask for help. I'd been dealing with grief and many past griefs. I felt very confused and helpless. God answered my cry in a big way. I was given the opportunity to attend Emotional Freedom. New Life blessed me with a scholarship, and I was able to attend. I struggle with debt and an addiction to spending, among other things. I was looking for more serenity, more peace, a closer relationship with God, and stability. I got all this. I got this because of the generosity and love that New Life brings into my life. The friendship, caring, and growth I received during Emotional Freedom will stay with me for the rest of my life. The healing and freedom I received is immeasurable, and I thank God for this opportunity to be in emotional freedom and what New Life has done for me. I thank Him every day. My heart was heavy, and now it's light.
Well, that's wonderful.
Doesn't get much better than that.
No. And we hear stories like this, and that's why we continue to do it.
Yeah. So, it doesn't matter what your single issue is. This is kind of a catch-all for us. We do things for men, we do things for women, we do things for couples, and this is for anybody, man, woman, couple, anybody who has an issue that's really not covered by those.
Yeah.
So take advantage, folks. Give us a call.
And this word freedom, man, some people have never, ever experienced freedom.
I love it. Some of the guys have written in the past about they never had emotion before. They didn't know how to kind of get that element of their life out. And this workshop helps guys realize there is an emotional aspect to their life, and they can now find that.
Yeah. And we need support.
Yes, folks, we need your help. We're a donated ministry. This is your ministry. That's the way I look at it. We do a lot of work here, but you're the fuel, and without your fuel, we can't do anything. So your support would be greatly appreciated, not just by us, but by the folks who are coming to these workshops, who listen to this radio program, who go out and get a counselor. We're not able to offer those things without your help. So please make a gift, pay it forward a little. If you've had any of these elements in your life that have done well by you through New Life, pay it forward. Let somebody else have that same experience.
Mm-hmm. So if you do, we'll send you Henry's book called Trust. And I just hope and pray that the Lord is moving you from your heart to be a generous giver of new life. And we really do take it very, very seriously that some people give sacrificially, and some people give more than sacrificially to this ministry because they've been helped by it or they've seen other people helped, and we're so grateful for that. And you can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Steve, I read your direct mail letter that's going to go out in just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And if anybody is not on that list, call us or tell us that you want to get that letter. It's one of the best letters I've seen Steve write. So,
especially if you're an Indiana Jones fan.
Yeah, there you go.
He's in there. But I tell you, it's really the letter is about faith more than money. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry.
Alrighty.
Appreciate that. Yeah, if you're not on the list, call us and let us get you on our mailing list. We'd love that. Okay, how about we go over here to Beth from Los Angeles, California.
Hello.
KKLA is the station. Hi, Beth. How are you, and how could we help you today?
Well, I'm good, and I'm really glad to be talking with you awesome helpers there. My question, I'll just start at the top because that's usually what you guys want to get to.
True.
How do I deal with an angry relative? Now, just give me I'll give you a little bit of framework. I am in my late 70s. She's a sister, one of two siblings, younger than me. They're twins. They're about 70. They both live out of state, so there's about a 6-year difference. Anyway, how do I deal with this angry relative who is demanding that I tell her everything about the specific question is, am I going to counseling? Am I going to counseling right now? You need to tell me right this minute if you're going to counseling. You just came at me with a gentle question that within moments turned into a demanding, screaming, I couldn't breathe, kind of push me in the corner because I wasn't answering her immediately.
Well, why does she think that you must tell her this information? Where does that come from?
Thank you. I don't know. I do not know. We have discussed, we're sisters. There have been issues in the family on and off. But one of the things that, and I don't want to go into her, but historically, we all have our different personalities. She has tended to be explosive and destructive with her anger on and off over the years. She was mandated to take an anger management class. I've taken one in my family because I had to learn how to deal with other people's anger. I had to learn how to deal with my own, which I didn't have too much of, but I was angry early on because I followed a bad pattern, but early on I stopped that and completely changed.
Okay.
But anyway,
so let's hear from Marc first on what you might do with this person that's just really pressuring you and giving you the message you must be in counseling, really, is what she's saying.
Beth, did you say that this
was... Can I add one more thing, Steve, before we go? Can I add one more thing?
Well, absolutely. Add that one more thing.
Okay, add one more thing is that when I spoke to her twin, so that was about 3 or 4 days ago. I spoke to her twin about 2 days ago, who tends to be undercover and knows that the other one's a bully, and she's afraid to confront her. All her life she said, I'm afraid to confront her, so she caves in. But anyway, she mentioned a conversation that she had with the angry bird, and the angry bird said, Beth isn't giving me the information. She screamed and hung up, right? and that she was thinking of calling some of my friends here in Los Angeles. One of them is a professional person that is a former colleague of mine. So she's going to go behind. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Beth, is this your older sister?
No, younger, 6 years.
Your
6.5
younger
years.
sister. Okay. Well, it sounds like you really need to have a lot of boundaries with her.
Exactly.
I mean, these are very extreme behaviors, right? Demanding that you tell her your own personal information, right? And then exploding when you don't, and then, threatening you with, or going behind your back and wanting to be coercive, right? And, call co-workers or former co-workers. I think you probably need to start with a conversation if you can. It may be difficult to have a conversation with her without her exploding. And if that is the case, then I would write a letter. And I would just kind of outline the boundaries and what kind of relationship that you believe that you can have with her at this moment with the way that she is, and what kind of relationship that you'd like to have with her if she were to be able to respect your boundaries. And then you may have to distance from her. And of course, you can't control everything that she does. If she does contact one of your former coworkers or colleagues, at that point, then you'd have to apologize to them. But I think that person would likely see that it's a very extreme thing, and hopefully would block them. But that's what I would say is I do think you need to have some strong boundaries with your sister, and it may result in a period of disconnection with her for a while.
All right. Now, JJ, what are you thinking here?
Well, absolutely agree with Mark. You are going to have strong boundaries. I think it's important for you, Beth, to do a couple things, because Scripture tells us, as much as it is up to you, live at peace with all people. And I'm glad it gives us that caveat, which means that I can't control what she does or how she responds. What I can do is focus on what is it that I'm feeling that might prompt me to respond a certain way to her. I want to examine that, as well as where I'm prompted to maybe relinquish or let up on some of the boundaries. That I need to do the hard work of maintaining those boundaries so that I'm not taken advantage of, and that my other sister, who also gets taken advantage of, so that she's not taken advantage of as well.
I really think you're in a situation where your sister needs the counseling and really needs the help. We'll have a comment after this.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family, or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step towards genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow Call 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn here, and trying to think of a good book on, well, I guess I can send Beth
Boundaries?
the Boundaries book, hoping she hasn't had that, but I want to send the book entitled Grow Up to give to her sister, but that wouldn't be nice, so we'll do Boundaries. We'll leave it right there at that. And this great concept that you brought up, that's right out of the Bible, in as much as it's up to me. That's all we can do. And boy, life is so consistently unfair. And it's not fair that somebody is weird, strange, and hurtful, but you got to take care of your stuff. But it's not about fairness. It's about the right thing, doing the right thing. All right, let's go to Jacqueline, Newark, New Jersey. And she is watching on our YouTube channel, New Life YouTube channel. Hello there. How are you today? And how could we help?
Hi, Steve. I'm well. I just want to say congratulations on the almost 35 years. I've been listening to you for as long as that. Well, mine is 8 years. I just started driving again, so now I kind of got my life back together. But I've been listening to you 35 minus 8 years. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I was so surprised to hear that your daughter was married now. I was like, oh, my God. But it also gave me a light bulb moment. Like, I definitely need to be moving a little bit faster in my life to see that this program has been on the air for such a long time, and it's absolutely thriving. But my question is today, I'm gonna ask the question by saying two scriptures, and I'm not trying to be deep or anything like that.
Yeah.
But this is just how I want to live my life. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in God's eyesight. And also, I can't think of the other one. But my question is, my mom, she pretty much dropped a bomb on me. 11 years ago, she told me to move back to the family home, which I thought was the family home. But every year, for 11 years, once a year, she'll tell me, you have to leave. This time, I'm absolutely leaving because I told her I can't take the emotional roller coaster anymore.
Yeah.
But 3 o'clock in the morning, I received a text stating that she has not given me any explanation. We haven't had any arguments. We've had some disagreements for the past 2 weeks, but it hasn't been, I don't disrespect my mother at all. She's very unfiltered. Mm-hmm. She says what's on her mind. She's not nice. She's not kind. But I thought that we had a better relationship than I've ever had. I thought we were best friends. So for her to drop the bomb on me, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to keep my emotions in check, because I've been hearing you guys talk about emotions all day, and I can't even really serve God well because of the way I was raised. I don't understand unconditional love. And the way my mom is treating me now, she's even trolling me, telling me she's going to take me to court. It's just, and I'm not really, I did tell her at this point she's being mean, evil, and she's being a bully because she kept trolling me. But she lives right next door to me. But my picture of what I thought was our family, it's been crumbling for a very long time. I even called real quick a couple of weeks ago, not a couple of weeks, probably about a month ago, letting you guys know that you wasn't there at the time, but I had to get a restraining order against both of my sons, and I got wonderful advice. I think you were there. Got wonderful advice, but basically my picture of family, and I'm the positive one.
Okay, so we want to help you, and I'm almost out of time, so ask a question that we might be able to help you with. What is the question?
My question is, how do I keep, I think you said to someone else, I got to figure out how to deal with myself in the midst of all of this, because she's always going to be my mother. So I need to figure out, how do I continue on, grow spiritually, not be passive-aggressive, in that ballpark. That's the question.
Okay. All right. JJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, so Jacqueline, it sounds like your mom has some sort of say, some sort of authority over your living situation. Is that correct?
No, she owns the home. We live separate quarters. I pay my own part of the mortgage, but she owns the home. So she does have that type of authority. Yes.
Okay. So she owns the property. Do you have some sort of lease with her, or some
Yes,
sort of
I
written
do.
agreement?
I have a lease.
Okay. You
her.
have a lease. Okay. So when she's making these threats and saying you have to move out, she has no legal authority to do that. Correct?
And I understand, but our relationship at this point, this is the first time she told me she threatened that she's going to take me to court. I'm talking about more relational. I am.
No, I understand that. I understand you're focused more on the relationship. I just wanted to understand what the scenario was. It sounds like part of the work that you have to do, you were referring to an earlier call where we were saying, hey, you got to focus on your piece of the puzzle. You can't fix, change, or control her. You're going to have to focus on your own emotional health. And I'm wondering if part of your own emotional health journey might be putting some distance between yourself and your mom, physical distance, so that you can have more of a peer relationship and less of this mom's in charge and I live on her property, and so I have to do what she says. Not that you believe that, but that's kind of how she's interpreting things and trying to have more influence on your life than you're comfortable with her having.
Beth, I can't think of anything better for you to hear than we think you need to move out and not go back ever. It's just it's not the right situation. There are some moms that wouldn't even be a deal, but in your situation, you need to be free of her influence. And I've got time just for a final comment here. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, Jacqueline, does your mom rely on you in any way? You said she's 73 years old.
I didn't pay rent. I'm in grad school. I didn't pay for 4 months, and it dawned on me she doesn't need me. And I thought that she did because she's in retirement, but she doesn't need me. And so she doesn't depend on me at this point because she keeps telling me to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she may at some point in the future, but I think what Steve and JJ are saying are correct. It's probably time for you to distance from your mom physically and then rebuild your relationship from there.
Yeah. You can't, I just don't think you can go wrong there. And I recommended this before, but I think it's right for you, so right for you. But How We Love is a wonderful book to understand why the relationship is. Because when we read the book, we come to see, oh, that describes my mom. No, that's who she was. That's why she reacted that way. And then, oh, look, this in reaction to that, look at who I became. Tremendously insightful. But I want to tell you, I've been given this advice to a lot of people over the years, and I hope it's been good advice. I think it's good advice. Everybody has to get over their mother. I mean, you can't get over a mother that's difficult. Well, I guess you could, but you really need to separate yourself to be fully free of that impact. But a lot of guys are told to deal with their father wound, and that's a good thing. But don't quit before you deal with your mom. Because a lot of times we have resentments toward our mothers because we expected them to fix the problem with father. And they didn't, so we're angry. And they're safer to be angry with. So challenge of the day, support New Life and get over your mother. So that's the big challenge. Hey, we sure care about you. We love you. So glad I got to talk to the people I did today. And glad I got to do it with Mark and JJ. They're the best. They really are. And we know that you're just doing the best you can, right? That's what I'm doing. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.